So I've been using my Vision Pro now ever since I bought it almost every day at work. I'd like to make a video of showing me using it at work and giving some video inside of the Vision Pro, but I realized everything I do at work is proprietary to the company I work for and can't really show much there. Still trying to think of a way I can demonstrate what I do all day, but I just love it. I would have a hard time going back. I've got my Mac and that screen, and I've got Moonlight and Sunshine that I'm using on my PC, and I have that screen up, and then I've got my calendar and my email with all my inboxes. I've got like 5 or 6 inboxes. And then I got my Teams going, I got Slack going, and they're just all these windows around me. And for the most part, it's awesome. I just love it. There's some pain points here and there. Vision Pro gets a little bit heavy, but that's the other thing I've noticed is I've seen a lot of people talking about how heavy it is, and it is. And they use it for a couple hours and then they can't use it anymore because they get headaches or whatever. I don't know how long they've been doing that. There are a couple that have been using it for a month or so, but I'm actually getting used to it. I'm kind of surprised that I don't notice the weight after a little while. I wonder, I don't know, maybe my neck muscles are getting stronger or something, but I'm noticing it less and less, and most days I don't notice it all. So that's kind of an interesting side note. The other thing is, I've been, I did my video about my setup, this pad that I made to go on top, and I've seen a lot of other similar things where they've got a 3D printed thing, and then I've even seen the one with SoloBands. I've contemplated trying that, but I can't get myself to spend the $100 for another one of these SoloBands. And the other thing I've noticed about most all of them is they're still tied back here, which is further away from the center of gravity than mine. Mine is closer to here. It'd be interesting to see if anyone comes up with one that's closer to here. But I think the problem with most of those, especially with SoloBand, is if it's there, I wonder if it's too far forward and it might slip down a lot. Whereas this, because of my bald spot here, which is kind of interesting benefit, the material here, this rubber and my head, they kind of stick a little bit. And so this stays in place pretty much most of the day. Once in a while I'll have to adjust a little bit, but for the most part it works good. But the big thing I wanted to talk about today, besides all of that, is an idea that just came to me today as I was watching a video about one of those 3D printed type headset adapters. And it's the one that you may have seen where you wear a baseball hat that has a brim on the front, and there's 2 little pieces of plastic that you 3D print, and it clips onto the hat. And so you basically have a hat holding the Vision Pro up. And I've seen it both with and without the light seal, but the one I watched today, he actually took the light seal out, and so it was just hanging right in front of his face, not touching his forehead at all. And I thought, well, I wonder if that would work with my little strap here. And it does. It's got a couple benefits and a couple drawbacks. The biggest benefit that I found is when I take the Vision Pro off with the light seal on, I have a pretty good ridge right here. Like I said, I'm getting used to it. I don't really notice it that much, but it's there, and it's something, right? The other thing that I've noticed about that is that it's kind of warm inside. So, there's that. With this method where I take the light seal out, have my adapter on top, and just as a note, I've got the Zeiss inserts for reading glasses, the 1.5s, and those are in there. That'll be important in a minute. But if I put this on, you can see that it just kind of hangs out in front, just like that baseball cap one, but I don't have to wear a baseball cap, which I'm not a hat person and don't like hat hair and all that. But this has 2 benefits. Number one, I'm not going to get that ridge up here anymore because there's nothing hitting it. And the other benefit is now I actually have some peripheral vision out here. I've noticed that when I walk around the office with my Vision Pro on, I have to be careful to look side to side when I go around corners or when I'm in places that I might encounter people. With this method, I can actually see completely out of the sides here. It doesn't seem to affect the Vision Pro's functionality. Everywhere I look is still as accurate as I can remember it being. It detects my finger taps just as well as it did before. The alignment's all pretty good. So two main benefits is I've got peripheral vision again, and I'm not getting the indent up here. I guess a third one is it's a little more airflow, so it's not going to get as hot, which is nice. The couple of downsides to this, even though I'm not getting the ridge up here now, I can feel the Zeiss inserts are kind of hitting a couple spots around my eyes. Now, I just barely tried this today for the first time, so I don't know if I'm going to get used to that or not. I know that when I was using, when I first put in the inserts, I had to use the thicker pad because the inserts would kind of touch my eyes a little bit and my eyelashes a little bit, and it was bugging me. But with the thick insert, I started having problems where when I'd log in with the Vision login, it wouldn't work every time, and I had to kind of push the Vision Pro against my face for that to work. So I was obviously a little too far away. So I put in this thinner one, and I've been using that ever since. I think that was a week or two ago I started doing that, and I've actually gotten used to the feel of the inserts really close to my face. You know, I think they're brushing up against facial hair or something, and so I can just kind of feel them tickling a little bit. Well, with this, the inserts I can actually feel them. They're against my skin, and I don't know if that's going to be a problem or not. When I look down, the weight keeps them away from my eyes, but if I look up, I can feel them pressing against my eyes a little bit. Now, I tried taking the inserts out, and that has a better feel. I don't feel the inserts right against my eyes anymore, but it's just a tiny bit blurry. I might try that a little bit, but the reason I got the inserts is I was reading another blog or saw a video, and they talked about how you can get it even more clear with the inserts. I thought I'd try them, and they do seem to be a little bit more clear. So the other downside is it shakes really bad. At work, I usually have it pretty loose. Even with the light shield in, I'd have it pretty loose so that it wasn't real tight and this ridge wasn't being really pressing against my face. And that felt really good. But whenever I would get up to walk around the office, I just do a quick tighten and tighten it against my face so that it didn't jiggle around at all. And I get back to my desk and I loosen it back again like that, and now it's nice and comfortable. Well, I can't really do that without the light still, because when I tighten it, those inserts go right into my eye sockets. It's not painful, but it's definitely annoying. So that's the other downside, is if I'm walking around, I've got to deal with the bounce, which, again, not horrible, might get used to it. So I'm going to actually give this a try for a while and see how it does. Maybe I'll keep it this way. Maybe I'll put the light seal back in, or might try something different. Might try it with and without the inserts for longer periods of time. We'll see how it goes.